House debate. Let's continue our questioning. Now, construction is set to begin soon on the Keystone XL pipeline in South Dakota. What does the future energy look like here? Would you consider another pipeline proposal through South Dakota if it was brought up again in Congress? We're going to begin with Mr. Johnson.
Well, there isn't really much of a role for Congress in this area. These are decisions that are made, at the administrative level, both at the federal and at the state level. You'll have a Public Utilities Commission that would issue a permit after they looked at all of the evidentiary record, and they're going to be guided by state law. I mean, that's their job. Does this pipeline meet its burden of proof that has been set by our state legislators? And at the federal level, again, you've got a Pipeline Hazardous Materials Safety Commission. They're the folks who review these types of construction plans. So there's not a role for Congress, at least not directly in these kinds of things. But I would say this, I know that we need to transition away from oil. I'm a big believer in biofuels, for instance. But we're going to have oil be an important part of the American economy for quite some time. And if we're going to be hauling these fuels from, I first should tell you, I'm way more interested in dealing with Alberta and other areas of Canada than I am in dealing with the Middle East. I don't like being beholden to Middle Eastern countries, and I would much rather get our fuel from North America, including places like North Dakota, Texas, and Oklahoma. But of course, we have to haul that as well. And everybody who's analyzed the data will tell you hauling it in a pipeline is safer, not perfectly safe, of course, but safer than doing it via railroad or doing it by tanker on the highways. So if there was an issue before Congress that was going to ask whether or not we would just shut down all of the potential development, pass a federal law saying nobody could build a pipeline again, I would be opposed to that, because I think we need to have standards set in law and allow the facts of the case to drive whether or not that's a prudent decision.
So Congress might have a role.
Well, normally they don't. I mean, they haven't before.
Doesn't mean you're not going to hear
No,
about
that's
it,
absolutely right. So if somebody brought a bill and they said, Dusty, should we prohibit the construction of any pipeline ever again, I would vote no.
Okay, Mr. Bjorkman, your thoughts on another pipeline through South Dakota?
Well, of course, I'd have to see the exact proposal, Don, but let me just say that I think it's really an offense to private property landowners to see a foreign corporation come and take their land, really against their will. Dusty poses this as an either-or. It's either Canada or the Middle East. That's not really the issue. We've got to put a lot of effort into our own development of clean technology, but we also are producing all kinds of oil and natural gas in this country. We've made incredible gains. We can supply our own needs, and we need to work on being energy independent fully, developing technologies for the future instead of fossil fuel type technology. We can do a lot more to promote clean technology without having to bring more pipelines into this state.